Welcome back, everyone. Here we are going to discuss the weekly performance report. So let's get into it. Noticeable activities over the last week. I sold Evolve, ticker symbol EVLV. I gave myself a week to look into the name to decide whether I wanted to hold it or not. Honestly, I didn't look too deeply into it. As such, if I'm not willing to put in the work, I'm not going to hold the name. I scalped a decent weekly percentage return, and I've moved on in life. Bought. I bought a few names. Celebrite, ticker symbol CLBT. Flutter Entertainment, ticker symbol FLUT. Genius Sports, ticker symbol GENI. And Victoria's Secret, ticker symbol VSCO. All I'm going to say about Celebrite is that I've been looking at a lot of DSPAC and 2021 era Genesis names as of late. On to the next. Genius Sports is a data provider and media provider to the sports industry and online sports betting platforms, such as DraftKings and FanDuel. Flutter Entertainment is the owner of FanDuel, one of the largest online sports betting platforms. There are certain sectors that are overhyped that I loosely followed for years, waiting for the day that they get cheap enough to buy. Well, guess what? I completely missed the boat on the online sports betting industry by a year. Yikes. Nonetheless, I entered a position this week. For now, it's a technical trade. As I do more work to try and get some sense around the valuation, I'll decide as to whether it's a hold or not. And I am putting in the work, especially with Genius. Probably next week, I'll be releasing a preliminary assessment, cup of coffee capital style, in regards to online sports betting and iGaming, which is just casinos online. So you can see the Flutter stock I didn't actually buy at this support line, but nonetheless. I did buy the support line though for Genius. Genius is an interesting situation in which the largest holder has wound down most of their position. Is Apax Partners the reason that the price has been suppressed? I don't know. What I do know is that they guided up for the year and the internals of their business look to be improving. On to Victoria's Secret. I guess they're bringing sexy back. Isn't that a good enough reason to place a trade? I only say that half kidding. There was actually a Reddit post that I liked in regard to this topic. Could it be this simple? And the post said, nah, it's marketing. Having average people model the product expose that it's overpriced. That's why Nike hires athletes like Michael Jordan to sell their shoes for a premium price. Without hot models, Victoria's Secret is a mid, just like Nike would be mid if they hired a fat, balding, middle-aged plumber modeled for them. It's all about perception. And you know what? I can't disagree with that. And yet again, could it be that simple? Could this be the turning point? Actually, technically, you would say that the capitulation earlier in the year, I think March, when the stock dropped to the high teens, maybe that was the capitulation point. But could this be part of a overarching turning point? Kind of like with Hasbro. I keep on talking about Hasbro, even though I'm not invested in them, and how they were overprinting and pretty much devaluing all their product in numerous ways in regards to Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering. And that's kind of relevant because although Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the Coast contribute, I don't know, like 20% of revenue, they contribute like 70%, something like that, of net income, of profits. So Hasbro took a nosedive. They just fired Cynthia Williams, I believe, the CEO, and And so they're seemingly turning things around. So Hasbro stock is, I don't know what it's up, but it's definitely off the lows. Now you could say that's just the overall market's off the lows and ripping to all-time highs, and which seemingly not a lot of people, I made a Twitter post about that, seemingly not a lot of people aren't really talking about the stock market hitting all-time highs, but I do see a lot, and I mean a lot of comments about silver hitting $30-ish and oh yeah, copper hitting highs. So don't know what that's about, but nonetheless, something to note. That's not really relevant directly to what I'm talking about here today, so I'll stop talking about it. Don't these companies know that you're supposed to pander to their audience's vicarious delusions, not towards their unearned virtue signaling? They pander to the loud and proud, but without a job crowd, instead of the college-educated progressive moneymakers. Talk about an unforced error. It's okay though. All the cool kids are trying it. And here we go with the whole Bud Light girl versus the Bud Light girl of 2023. Now, with that image burned into your eyes, let's move on to the weekly performance. I ended the week up 6.57%. And much of that is the consequence of Grown Rogue being up, 18% for the week, and it being my largest position, so that contributed a lot. Valeris is up, Uranium's up, Glass, a lot of names are up. Celsius is up, so on and so forth is up. Right now I'm down on Celebrite and Victoria's Secret by less than 1%. Flutter is up 0.1 or 0.71%, and Genius is up 5%-ish. A-Mark Precious Metals is bouncing around. Sabanier is doing well again. Let's see, Valeris, like I said, up. Did I miss anything? Joe is just bouncing around like it always does. So let's see. Sprout Physical Uranium. Kodiak Gas Services, I believe, is at an all-time high or very close, if not. Kinross doing quite well. Tidewater off the all-time high, but still doing well. I think it was last week or the week before that it was the first 100% gainer of the portfolio. So it's pulled back a little bit, being 98% at this point. So I don't have much to say other than that. Weekly update. Offshore oil. Who was it? I want to say Seadrill. Is that right? But somebody hit a 550,000 day rate. So contracts are going up in day rates and their length. I mean, things are looking good on the offshore sector. Outside of my performance of a stock I've owned for a year and a half, a year. That's an eighth of my portfolio. It's finally doing well, but still range bound well enough. Louisiana Pacific, which I owned for a while, finally broke out of that range that it was in and is at all-time highs. So congratulations to anybody who owns Louisiana Pacific. I remember a certain individual on YouTube who said it wasn't exciting, and well, whatever. I suspect I know it's doing better. From the time of that video that they made that, I know it's doing better than the Neo position that they put on. So that's cool. Speaking of Neo, Chinese stocks. I was so tempted, and I've been tempted, and I'm not going to chase now. Man, these Chinese stocks are ripping off their lows. And then what else? Something else. Some other stock I owned and sold, or didn't buy. I can't remember which it is. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'd like to think what it was, though. It's not Town Square. It's not. I can't think of who or what I'm talking about. But nonetheless, so yeah, I sold Evolve Technologies. I bought that atrocious down day it had, and I didn't sell. I think at one point I was up 16 or 18%, and I think I sold for like 10 or 12%, like whatever. And that's fine. Took some of that money and, well, pretty much bought offshore sports betting with it. So now I can bet on betting instead of betting on security. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm just rambling. So thank you for watching. Until next time.